Hello, YouTube. We are back with a 14-week out update. So I checked in with my coach, James, on Thursday. Everything's looking really good. He says we're going to give it about a couple more weeks before we really start trying to lean down and get a little bit closer to stage conditioning. So a couple updates just in the process. So this week I did book my rooms for both Salt Lake and for the Pittsburgh Pro. So not everybody likes to stay in the host hotel, but I do, just because it's typically in locations that's super convenient or close to the venue. And it's just kind of nice to be in an area where everybody else is. A lot of times that's where they do the tanning. So I really like to make sure to get in with that host hotel. So, and there are typically limited rooms that are reserved for athletes. Not that you can't book there without the block code, but it is nice to get a little bit of a discount. So I got that all taken care of, and I also re-upped my membership with the IFBB Pro League, so we're all good to go there. Looking ahead, this weekend is going to be a lot of prep for my trip next weekend. So me and my friend Crystal are going down to Orlando to the Women's Workshop Conference down there. So it'll be a super fun event. We'll get to see lots of other competitors, pros, amateurs, judges. We'll be able to kind of hear what they're looking for the year and make a lot of connections. So I will be taking you along with me on that, and I'll show you some of the prep that I'm doing for meals to take with me on the plane. So that's kind of my little update. I'm gonna show most of the meal prep for next weekend in this video, and then in my next one, you'll get to see all about the trip. So follow along and we'll go get to cooking. So I am going to take almond butter with me, but fun fact, you cannot take a full jar in your carry-on bag because it is considered a liquid. So I like to go with these handy little packets. I might also bring some whole almonds with me, but when picking this out, you do want to find one that doesn't have any palm oil in it or any other additives. So you can see like this Justin's one does have palm oil as compared to this one here, which is the one I'm going to go with, this brand anyway. It only has the roasted, either roasted peanuts or roasted almonds. So there is also this other brand down here on the end that doesn't have any palm oil. But another one about the Justins is if they are like the maple or the honey, they also have extra ingredients and extra carbs. So this is the other one that doesn't have the palm oil. So it would be a good option too. But even though that one was on sale, it still had a little bit, it still cost a little bit more. So now going into the carb sources. So I did make a list up here of all the meals. So have the, once again, almond butter. I'm bringing rice cakes and my favorite tea. If you haven't tried this tea, it is really the best. So for my food on the plane, you can't take any ice packs. So I freeze out these rice in flat bags and use them as my ice packs. So freeze out the rice and then I can use it while I'm there. So it's kind of a 2-for-1. And then I am also taking lots of protein powder extra just in case so that I have some extra protein sources on hand. So with these turkey patties. I made these out of ground turkey and I just flattened them as flat as I could. Makes it easier to eat than ground meat sometimes. And then I just portion out how much I need in each one. And again, freezing them so that they make it all the way down there with me. I also did up some ground beef. Now this I went ahead and kept ground because this will be some of the meat that I have while I'm down there. So I don't really have to worry about eating it on the plane. I have some extra too, so it was kind of a dual so that I had some for this coming week too while I'm at work. I am going to wait to do up my veggies until closer to when we leave. So just kind of taking a pass through my workouts this last week. Everything felt good again. I really do love training. It really is one of my favorite parts of competing is just training and trying to progressive overload all your lifts and seeing that progress not only physically but like feeling the progress in the gym and coming back to a workout session and being like, man, that was a weight I couldn't do before and now I'm warming up with that. So it's just something that I've fallen in love with. And I think that's really what you have to do if you want to find a way to stay active long term is you have to find a form of exercise that you love. And for me, that's weight training. So that's my little word of advice to you is find something that keeps you active that you truly love to do. Like I wouldn't commit so long term to this if I didn't like it. I would find a different form of exercise. For some people that's running, for some people that's, hiking or Zumba or yoga. And of course, like I'm a big advocate of weight training and I'm like, you definitely need to weight train. But as long as you have something you love and it's keeping you moving, then at the end of the day, that's the most important. For me, weight training is a big part of competing. And if I think it would be really hard to compete if I didn't just love to lift. And so if you're looking at getting into competing, that might be a question you want to ask yourself is like, do I love the gym and want to go there almost every day, right? And of course, there's going to be days where you don't want to go, but if you're going to compete, you have to love the gym because you're going to spend a lot of time there. And it's a being able to push yourself and get super close to failure and progressive overload and keep intensity and in your weight training, that's a huge part of competing. And if you're not willing to really push yourself, then you're not going to see that progress and that progression. If you're just going in and lifting the same weights every day, it's not going to go. That's enough of my ranting, though. Week 14 is down. We got a full load of training already in, and I'm ready for the next week. Super excited for the Orlando trip. So it'll be fun to take you guys along on that, and you guys can kind of see how my meals go, what I'm taking with me, and what I get while I'm down there. And you might even see a little bit of a gym session while we're down there too. If you guys have any specific questions about my trip or about any of the training videos you've watched as you've listened to me ramble on, don't be afraid to ask them in the comments and I will for sure be getting back to you. So that is all for this week. Thanks for watching and follow along. If you have any questions, please make sure to drop them down below. Otherwise, like, subscribe, and we will see you next week.